Hey everybody, happy Saturday! It's almost mystery stamping time. Good to see everybody. I'm Anne, for those of you that don't know me. I'm known as the Stamp Maven, and I'm going to just give everybody a little chance to join in. I'm going to check over here and make sure that I'm in the right place and I can start seeing you guys. If you've joined in, go ahead and post a comment just saying here or something like that. Um, so I will know that you have joined in. My hair's a little crazy this morning. Dave, the stamp slave, and I went out on a walk this morning. We usually try to do that a few days a week, Saturday and Sunday. We can do it in the morning. I like the morning time better because it's a little bit chillier. Today it's supposed to be up to 88 degrees, which is not too exciting. But hey, Kay, hey, Sharon, welcome. What's the weather like in North Carolina today? I bet you've got some beautiful fall colors going on there, ma'am. What do you think, huh? All right, let me zip back over here so I can see my comments. There we are. Well, again, I wanted to say welcome, and I'm going to flip my camera so you'll be able to start seeing the clues here in just a minute. So let me take care of that, and hopefully I'm not going to make you too dizzy. And I am going to get my camera set up so we'll be able to see our clues when we get rolling. I wanted to show you this fun little sign. A lot of you that have been stamping with me know that I'm known as the Stamp Maven for my business, and that's where you can find me. Of course, you're here on Facebook, and then YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, all those fun places. My daughter bought this sign for me for Christmas a while ago, and I just love it. It's usually hanging on my wall. Hey, Sandra, how are things in Michigan today? My son-in-law is from Livonia, Michigan. Is that anywhere near you? All right, let's flip over here so I can have the clues right in front of me. Hopefully, you've had a chance to get your supplies together, but remember, even if you don't have your supplies, it doesn't matter. I want you to join in anyway. Let me move these just a little, because the cool thing about the mystery stamping is you will be able to watch this recording later and you'll be able to catch up. So just a couple of things for those of you that maybe haven't done this before. I'm not going to actually be stamping, but at the end, I'm going to show you my card, and then we're going to see if your card looks like mine. This is the fun part for me because you probably have chosen different colors. Hey, Donna Cole there in Florida. How are things going there today? What's the weather like? Your card is going to be a little different than mine, but at the end, hopefully all of you guys will post yours, and then we'll be able to see what everyone's done. All right, well, let me look here. Oh, Livonia is just half an hour from you, Sandra. Wow. It's so fun to have people pop in from all over the country, and I've had people jumping in from Australia, and it's really neat as you guys start engaging and saying hi too, and feel free to invite your friends. Okay, so as you complete your clues, what I want you to do is type done in the comments when you've done your step, and that way I'll know that it's time to move on. If you get behind, don't stress. Again, this is supposed to be fun. We all have enough stress in our lives these days, I would dare say. So we are just going to have fun today, and we're not going to worry about any stress, because that's not fun. Okay, you ready? Here we go. Clue number 1. All right. I want you to use an image stamp to stamp all over the front of your card base with matching ink. So remember, in clue number 1, we picked colored cardstock, and you cut it to 5.5 by 8.5, and you scored and folded it, and that became your card base. Now what I want you to do is take that image stamp or a background stamp if you've picked that, and I want you to stamp all over the front of it with your matching ink. Okay? And, oh, it's hot, Donna. Oh, and Carol, howdy from Utah. So remember, as you are completing, hey, Patricia from Indiana, hello to the Hoosiers, right? So as you stamp, once you get done, just give me a shout out, done, and then I'll know that it's time to move on to the next clue. And if you see a friend on here that's stamping with us today, give them a big howdy too. I love it when you guys engage. Nancy from Southern Illinois. You know, I was born in Illinois. I was born in Urbana, and I only lived in Illinois for a couple of years. Then actually, my family moved to California, and I grew up in the Bay Area, went to college at UC Davis, got my teaching credential in Southern California, met my husband back in Northern California. We've been married for 44 years. Moved to Connecticut for a few years. I loved living in Connecticut with all the seasons. And we ended up here in Texas. We've been here since 1998. Oh, I just can't believe it's that long. Okay, Donna's done. Remember to just pop a comment in there if you're done. I'm going to wait just a couple more minutes here to let everybody get caught up. I'd love to have you like my Facebook page and follow some of my other channels. I do a lot of fun projects and fun activities. One of the things I do is online classes. A friend of mine who lives in Albuquerque, she is big into the vintage ephemera world. Her Instagram tag is Village Artiate, and she collects and sells a lot of that type of stuff. And we're going to be collaborating on my monthly class this month, and I've kind of titled it Kitchen Sink Stamping, and it is going to be just a blast. I do monthly technique classes, and this is the next one that we're going to be doing, and I'm so excited. I've never done it before, but it is just going to be fun. Alrighty, it looks like most of you are done. with clue number 2, so we're going to move on to clue number 3. Okay, what I want you to do here is take your 3" by 3 3/4 inch of your different colored cardstock, and I want you to adhere it to the card front with adhesive on the right side of the card. And you want it about 1/4 inch from the top and the side. I meant to have this cut for you so you could see exactly what it needed to be. But let me just kind of put an example here. Let's say this is your card front and this is that piece. You want it to be just about 1/4 inch from the top and the side. And of course you want yours to be straight. I didn't do too badly there, but that's what you want. Okay. And while I'm doing this, let me show you, or while you're doing it, this is one of the kitchen sink stamping kind of cards that I'm going to be showing you what to do. And the reason I've titled it Kitchen Sink Stamping, and I'm going to have my friend Chris help me think of a better name, it's because you really can use everything but the kitchen sink when you're deciding what you want to put on your card. You can just sort of just root through your basketed stuff that you have sitting around. And hey, I know we've all got a bunch of stuff. We've got sewing supplies, we've got crafting supplies, we probably have labels we've cut out, recipes we've cut out. If you're intrigued, subscribe to my newsletter that you can find at stampmaven.com, and you'll get all the details on that. All right, so let me pop over here and refresh my screen and see if you guys are finished adhering that cardstock. I bet you are. You can tell that I'm a real introvert here and I don't like to talk. So I got to make sure that I stay here with my business so I don't get you guys too far behind. Okay, looks like we're adhered. All right, now the next step is you want to adhere your 3" by your 3.5 inch designer series paper, and all that is in the Stampin' Up world. Our patterned paper is called designer series paper. Another name for it is just pretty patterned paper. So you're going to adhere that piece to the cardstock layer that you just added in clue number 3, and you're going to offset it to the left, like in this picture. And I'm just using black and white on here because I don't want to influence your creativity. But this bigger white piece is your card base, and then this black piece is the colored cardstock that you added on the far right in clue number 3. And then this white piece here is your pretty patterned paper, or P to the 3rd power. Do I have any mathematicians here? My dad was a math teacher and I hated math. When I was in high school, what I used to do, if I really didn't understand my homework or if I hadn't gotten to it, I waited till the morning when we were like having breakfast. Dad, I really need help with this homework assignment. And then he'd do it for me. Maybe I shouldn't admit that to you guys, but hey, we're real here, right? Okay, so looks like we've finished that clue. All right, now The next thing, you guys should each have a Whisper White or Very Vanilla cardstock layer. And that was a 3" by 3" piece. You're going to take those same stamps that you used on your card base or the background stamp that you used, and you are going to stamp on that layer. How you want to stamp is totally up to you, and you want to use that ink that you got to match your paper. Now, some of you may have gotten very tricky, and you may have decided to pick a totally different color of ink. Maybe you used black. Maybe you used gray. I tell you, I love, love, love the color gray when I am stamping on my cards. Anybody else like that? I like that it is a little bit softer than using the black. So I love our Stampin' Up! Basic Gray. Another one of my go-to colors for sentiments is Early Espresso. Again, it's a nice dark color, so it shows up well, but it just doesn't look quite as stark to me. All right. How are we doing so far, guys? I'd love to know, too, if this Saturday noonish time works for you guys. Now, of course, you can watch the recording again if you miss it live. I also post this on YouTube, so you are able to follow there. Hey, Wanda, you're done too. I'm going to see Wanda later this afternoon. She's one of my team members, and our other friend, Karen, I think is stamping along with Wanda. And I'm going to be so excited to see what their cards look like. Excuse me just a minute. I'm going to take a big gulp of water here. Okay, so we're done with clue number 5. All right, now clue number 6. What we're going to do, and I'm going to hold this up again so you can see my diagram. You're going to use whatever adhesive you have. You're going to adhere your stamped Whisper White or Very Vanilla piece to your card front. And you're going to offset it. It's this black square right here. You're going to offset it from the DSP layer like this. So remember, we've got the white is our card base. The black is our different color cardstock layer. The white layer here is our pretty patterned paper, or our DSP if you use Stampin' Up! Products. And then this black is our stamped Whisper White or Very Vanilla piece. So you can kind of see what we have going on here. We've got our pieces offset. All right, and I'm going to, it looks like that black, everything shows up okay. Usually I use a wood grain background, but I didn't pop that out today. All right, so it looks like maybe we've all got it going on here. So let me just pop into the comments and take a little look here. Hey, Marilyn, it's good to see you. Hope you're stamping along with us. If you're not, that's okay. All right, looks like most of us are done with clue number 6. Da-da-da! Here is clue number 7. Now, One of the things I asked you to gather was a sentiment and either a Whisper White or Very Vanilla scrap, depending on if you used Whisper White or Very Vanilla on that layer. Now, you can use a punch, dies, or just cut it out with your scissors. You know, these are my Stampin' Up paper snips. And what I love about these scissors is they are very pointy on the end and they're really good for going around fussy cutting. But sometimes when I'm holding and cutting, I forget how sharp these are and I cut right in that web. So don't do that because you don't want to mess up your card with blood all over it. One other thing I wanted to show you, I love using this Tombow multi-purpose liquid glue. We call it green glue, and it's so funny how many people, when you say in the crafting community, green glue, people know what you're thinking about. What I really like about this is, especially if you're a newer stamper or you use a lot of layers, it is more forgiving than, say, our Stampin' Seal. When you use the Stampin' Seal or the Stampin' Seal Plus, it's going to be stuck. And there is a little trick for getting layers apart. And what that is if you peel up the corner and then you breathe in it, that'll re-moisten it and you can pull it off. But this green glue allows you to kind of scooch it around and get it where you want it without ripping your paper. And it's pretty cheap too. I think it's about $4. All right, let me pop in here again quickly and check our comments. Looks like we are rolling along. So we're about done with that, I think, with clue number 7. Okay, good deal. Let's zip on here and leave me a comment if I am going. Oh, Marilyn, you use that glue for everything too. I know, isn't it great? Even if you're making 3-dimensional items like, I don't know, most of you may have seen this before because I've posted a lot of these on my site. These are our little mini coffee cups and the little carriers. I use that green glue all over this project. You don't actually have to use the glue on the cup, but I used it here on the little kind of wrap on this too because it's so forgiving when you are putting it together. So yeah, I love that too. All right, so we've got our sentiment piece. All right, now what I want you to do is, oops, and I see here I made a boo-boo. You want to layer your sentiment layer on to your colored cardstock, or cut it or punch it to fit accordingly. I think I told you in your supplies to get a scrap, yes, of that different colored cardstock, depending on if you're doing a die or cutting it. All right, so you're going to layer it on to your colored cardstock, so you need to cut it or punch it to fit. All right, so I'm going to give you just a minute to do that. I'm going to grab my water again. Isn't this a cool cup? Let's see if I can close the lid so I can show it to you. My friend Tracy gave it to me for my birthday. I am the flip-flop queen, and so she got me this cup that says sunny with a chance of flip-flops. Okay, and that water was just starting to come out, so hopefully you saw it there. Okay. All righty. How are we doing? How are we doing? Oh, hey, Deborah. You can go back and catch me on replay. Thanks, Sandra. I love that cup too. All right. Does it look like most of you are finished with layering that on there? And the cool thing that I started doing these mystery stamping events so you could play with your stuff as we continue to get more people into them. Hopefully, you guys will interact a lot. Maybe you'll make some new crafting friends and just use your stuff. And if, you're just starting and you don't have a lot of die cuts or punches, it doesn't matter. Pretty much everybody has a pair of scissors. And even if you have construction paper, you can use that. All right. So now we're getting to clue number 9. You want to adhere those 2 layers together, your sentiment and your colored cardstock. So you've got your sentiment now and it's adhered onto the top of that colored cardstock that creates a border to that sentiment. So hopefully that makes sense. And go ahead and do that. While you're doing that, let me show you another something fun. I'm doing this with my stamp clubs this month. Let me grab it here. Have you guys seen, if you use Stampin' Up! Products, have you seen this specialty gold foil die cut paper? It is the coolest. It has got, let me grab one that's not on a card. It has got pieces like this. And what I did is I just adhered it down to colored cardstock. Then I took my Stampin' Blends and I colored in the middle of the leaves and the little berries here. Isn't that awesome? And then I stamped in the middle here. It's such a simple Christmas card. All right, so do we have our layers together? All right, now we are going to use our ribbon. So what we're going to do is, and I'm just going to grab a piece. So you've got your ribbon and you're going to fold it in half. So you have a loop at the top and you have your tails at the bottom. And you're going to adhere it. Let's say, I'm going to use a Post-it note again, just to not give you away what my card is. You're going to adhere it to the back of your sentiment piece, and you want to use a strong adhesive like Terran tape, your multi-purpose glue, or mini glue dots. So, you can put it like this, you can put it like this, if you want to have your tails at the top, this is your card. You can go ahead and do that any way you like. Now, let me show you, if you have not heard of Terran tape, all right, this is another cool product. I used to use the, what did we call that? I actually have some of that here too. The red sticky tape. And this stuff would stick down your layers and if you were making boxes and stuff. But the problem with this was it was almost staticky. So when you put it down, sometimes it was really hard to get that red layer off of there. Well, let me move this clue over. This Terran tape You don't even need scissors. You just tear it, hence the name. And then you can just take your finger and nail and kind of run it over there. Well, that didn't show too great, but I pulled it in the wrong place. If you just pull it, usually out of the middle, then that backing comes off much easier. And there's your, I don't know if you can you see that where the tape is? And it's really quite sticky. And I use that for all of my boxes and if I'm putting a bunch of layers on a card. Okay, so, oh yeah, Diana, you definitely want to look. It's actually it's not in the holiday catalog. It's in the big catalog. Let me see if I can find that for you, and I'll show you right where it is. Oh man, there's so much good stuff in here that you can just go right by it. It's this specialty paper right here. It's on page 152. It's called Forever Gold Laser Cut Specialty Paper. And you get a ton in it. It's part of the Forever Fern Suite and bundle. So since Diana asked, let me show you. Let me find that bundle here. Let me go back. The easiest way is to find it by the stamp set. Okay, so it's on page 110. So if you get the bundle, voila, there it is. You actually, if you get the suite, you get that paper as a part of it. I'm pretty sure. Yes, it's the gold laser cut specialty paper. These bundles and suites are a great way to go. If you find something you like, you can get it all with one number. All right, so back. Hope that helped you, Diana. Let me get back here. Now, okay, everybody hopefully has their ribbon attached. All right, we're almost there, guys. You want to take Stampin' Dimensionals and add that ribbon sentiment layer to your card front. So that would be, you attach the sentiment to that colored cardstock piece to frame your sentiment. Then you added the ribbon on the back. Now you're going to take our little Stampin' Dimensional friends. They look like this. If you don't have any, just stick it down with whatever adhesive you have. It's kind of fun to use the dimensionals because it gives you a little dimension, hence the name Stampin' Dimensionals. We used to call those pop dots when I did a lot with Girl Scouts when my daughter was in Girl Scouts. All right, I'm going to give you just a few minutes here before I reveal our last step. Da-da-da! How are we doing? All right, give you a couple minutes to get that card all together. And I am probably going to do the next one of these next Saturday. I'm going to hopefully still do it at noon. That is the plan. I am going to be, Lord willing, on a retreat with just a few friends. We go twice a year. We didn't get to go in April, of course, because the state of Texas and everywhere else was pretty much on lockdown. Things are starting to open up a little bit, and we are all going to have masks, plenty of hand sanitizer. We each get a 6-foot table, and we're all going to have our temperatures taken. So I know we're going to all be safe as can be, but it's going to be great. I was talking to a couple of the ladies the other day, and we are ready. You know, we all want to be totally safe and everything, but man, I am missing my Stampin' Peeps. All right, well, I am ready to move on. Did you guys solve the mystery? Okay, and I am going to show you now the card that I made, and we're going to see if yours looks like mine. All right, here is the card that I made, and I'm actually going to bring in my different background here, because I think you'll be able to see it better than the black. So, and I'm going to show you the second one I made too, and you'll see why in a minute. Well, let me go ahead and bring that in. Okay, so do you notice the differences in these cards? Well, this is from our Flowers 6x6 Designer Series paper. Well, this particular pattern, like they all do, has two sides, but I really I wanted to use both of them. So on this card, I used that one side with the big sunflower. So this is more a monochromatic card. Not totally, because I do use the bumblebee and the cinnamon cider. And then I use that gingham bumblebee ribbon. And then on this card, I used bumblebee ribbon, but just the plain. It's not gingham. And then I used this side of it. I used the sunflower. It's called Celebrate Sunflower Stamp Set. And I guess I don't have it in front of me. Do I have it over here? No, I don't. Can I see it up here? You know, I've got stuff all over my stamp room here. And before we're done, I may go ahead and show you just a little peek so you can see that I am a sloppy stamper. Do I have any of those out there? But this card opens this way. If you had wanted, you could have had it open at the top too. I use different embellishments here. They're both gold, but hey, Diane, I'm glad you got to pop in. Yes, for sure. I'm going to post the recording so you'll be able to see it. But what I really want you guys to do is go ahead and post your card to the group. If for some reason you can't get it posted, send it to me. Email it to me at ann@stampmaven.com. Do I have that written here? Yes. So it's right here, ann@stampmaven.com. And if you see anything, any of the products I used, you can check those out at my Stampin' Up site, which is annbrown.stampinup.net. And I think I mentioned my blog, which is stampmaven.com. I do a lot of fun stuff on there, so you can click in the right-hand corner. There's a little purple box, and you just put in your first name and your email, and then you'll get my newsletter. I'm in the middle. Well, not the middle. It actually just started last week, so you're right near the front. Every year, I do a free program for my newsletter subscribers. It's called the 12 Weeks of Christmas. You get a free Christmas project every week. I start with cards for 5 weeks. Then we do a few weeks of gifts, and then we wrap it up with bags, tags, and wraps. And you can join that newsletter on my blog. And when you join as my free gift, you'll get a beautiful Magnolia card PDF, and I just had such a great time making that card and then turning it into a PDF that I share with my newsletter subscribers. So thanks everybody for popping in. Let me quickly just go around here, and I am going to just give you a quick little tour here of my stamp room so you can see I really am kind of a sloppy stamper. I've got stuff down there. Here is my new stamp and cut and emboss machine. I love this. If you have a big shot and you don't want to spend the money for a new one, cool, your big shot will keep working. But if you ever do decide that it's either your other one's worn out or whatever, talk to me about this machine because I think you'll love it. And of course, here in Dallas, I'm a Cowboys fan. I actually was a Cowboys fan in California. Then quickly going over here, there is my ribbon, a bunch of pictures, and you notice I have little rubber stamps all over my room. There are stamp sets. There's all my paper. Well, guys, again, thanks so much. Let me turn this around. Thanks so much for playing with me today, and I will see you next Saturday. Have a great day, guys.